Good morning, guys. It's time for another UFO News Roundup. So get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like and subscribe and let me know what you think in the comments below. Okay, let's just get right into it. I'm just going to go through a list of stuff rapid fire. There's going to be a new season of Ancient Apocalypse. I love Graham Hancock's TV show, Ancient Apocalypse, talking about all the various pieces of evidence there are for lost ancient civilizations like Atlantis. So I can't wait for more evidence to be uncovered and to be brought before the public. What do you think, guys? Was there an Atlantis, or were there ancient civilizations that have vanished from the face of the earth, except for a few interesting fingerprints? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Meanwhile, Garry Nolan is saying, imagine there is another level of reality we're interacting with.
I mean, it was funny. I was walking my dog this morning, playing with them in the front yard, and thinking about this exact matter. In fact, thinking I'm dealing with stuff that they couldn't even possibly understand. I have a perception of things that they don't possibly have. You go even further down to ants. Ants can't possibly understand TikTok. Right? They couldn't even, the concepts are just, and they don't even have a sensory apparatus to see the world that we do. But from their point of view, they're like, well, that's impossible. That's fantasy. So imagine that there's another level of reality that we're just not perceiving, that something else lives within. That they have a perception of things that we just don't. Half the country actually, unrelated to UAP, believes that. Religion, right? Yeah. Catholicism, you name your religion, they believe that there's a level of reality where souls go that is different than the reality that we live in. So that doesn't mean that this is a religion. It just means that people have already formulated structures of how the universe might be operating, where there are levels of intelligences that could have a perception of things that we don't understand.
Yeah, I love that. The idea that half the country already has a framework, a conceptual framework for the metaphysical. So could they have a leg up on understanding the UFO phenomenon? We've been seeing a lot of people trying to frame the UFO phenomenon in terms of angels and demons. And that's how they're interpreting it. People like Tucker Carlson have alluded to that, and others. Is that actually an advantage in some ways? Because people that are religious do have that built-in framework to conceptualize the metaphysical. Do they have a leg up on atheists? I used to be an atheist and a non-believer in UFOs, but UFOs led me directly to the metaphysical and the spiritual. There's definitely a connection. I don't know if one opened me up to the other, but maybe it could work in reverse as well. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Moving on to the next story. Oh yeah, Yuri Geller. I didn't even know he was engaged in a 20-year battle with Nintendo over Pokemon card, but he was engaged in a 20-year battle with Nintendo over Pokemon. He sued Nintendo 2 decades ago for using his likeness. What is his likeness? Well, apparently it's this guy right here, who uses a spoon, and his name is very similar to Yuri Geller's. I mean, it's not much of a likeness, but I guess it's a likeness, right? And the name definitely references Yuri Geller. But I thought that was hilarious that Yuri Geller had sued Nintendo. Now I'm ribbing on Yuri because this is just hilarious. I do believe Yuri has real abilities. There are people that have gone into skiffs with Yuri and come out of those skiffs saying, yeah, he's the real deal. But that's hilarious, guys. Anyway, but it looks like he has put it to rest, and now he is embracing that Pokemon card based on his likeness. Meanwhile, Representative Robert Garcia is telling Matt Laszlo at Askapol, we have a responsibility to use every single lever that we have in Congress to get information. Indeed. I mean, right now, it's on the majority to schedule more public hearings, and so we've come up with UAP amendments. I think the issue is bipartisan. Okay, well, it's very good that he says that. And I think that we'll continue to file amendments, and we have on a variety of topics. Broadly speaking, I think we have a responsibility to use every single lever that we have in Congress to get information, and these amendments are a part of that process. Yeah, the amendments were, a no-go in the House at the moment, but they will almost certainly be reintroduced in some form, especially when the Senate gets its version of the NDAA together, and then it'll go into reconciliation with the House like it did last time, and we're likely to get something. It's likely to move the needle a little bit. I think what's really going to move the needle and what's really going to galvanize Congress to further action is when those whistleblowers hit the stands. When those next public hearings happen, then we get back to back. Hopefully 3 whistleblowers a month. One hearing a month, 3 whistleblowers per hearing for a solid year. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine the doors that would open in terms of Congress, galvanizing Congress, and also public perception, which will galvanize Congress? So I'm really excited once those whistleblowers start coming out. I think we're going to see a lot more action. I think the next NDAA after that, that will be gangbusters. The UAP amendments in that. Meanwhile, a study finds UFO witnesses may have personality traits that increase likelihood of sightings. This is really interesting. They did a study. They have the list of the big 5 personality traits: neuroticism, extroversion, openness, agreeableness, and conscientiousness. I can't say that word. Dr. Stubbings' experiment involved 206 participants, including 103 who said they had witnessed or self-reported seeing a UAP. The team analyzed personality traits to see how participants naturally group together. The study consisted of 3 groups. Group 1 had average traits, whereas the second group, designated the neurotic schizotypy group, I don't think I want to be in the neurotic schizotypy group, was high on neuroticism and schizotypy traits. I don't know how to say that word either. If you know how to say schizotypy, let me know. The last controlled group, labeled OACE, was found to have high openness, agreeableness, conscientiousness, and extroversion, but low neuroticism and schizotypy traits. Yeah, I think I want to be in the group called ACE, not the schizotypy trait, not the schizotypy group. These were the groups that emerged out of the data analysis. Dr. Stubbings told the debrief, the latent profile analysis demonstrated that these 3 patterns of personality profiles. Prior research looked at correlation and regression, but not a latent underlying profile. This was a new finding. And here's the important part. The study concluded that the third group, OACE, was more likely to see UAPs. Over the years, stigma and stereotypes have helped create narratives that people who see UAPs are more than likely emotionally reactive. In other words, they may display neurotic behavior and are prone to perceptual and cognitive abilities. However, the recent data does not appear to support this narrative. Instead, Dr. Stubbings and his co-authors state in their paper that the descriptive UAP accounts by the general public were similar to the descriptions provided by military witnesses. I think that's really interesting that regular citizens are describing UFOs the same way that military people are, ostensibly trained observers are. I think it's really intriguing. Stubbings, when asked why people with high consciousness see UFOs, or high conscientiousness see UFOs, said it is difficult to answer such a question based on the current data in hand. Anyway, so there you go. People that are more open and conscientious are more likely to see UFOs. The researchers don't know why that is. They're thinking, well, maybe they're just more likely to report it because they are more conscientious. But I wonder if there's more to the story than that. People like that are just more prone to see these things. But let me know your theories in the comments below. All right, next story. Getting back to the religious theme, or religion and UFOs. People are more and more discussing what the Vatican knows. And I'm not going to read this article to you, but I think it's really intriguing that there are more and more articles like this. Angels or demons? Some researchers say Vatican archives hold UFO secrets. And I've actually gone over some of those alleged secrets before with you guys, that there are ancient archives in the Vatican that talk about alien, or at least non-human, interaction with humans. It's fascinating. It goes back centuries. The Vatican knows some stuff. At least somebody in the Vatican knows something. And they probably know a lot more than, I can even imagine. It was the Vatican that tipped off the U.S. to the Mussolini UFO at the end of World War II. So what does the Vatican know? How deep are they in with all of this, right? Is it just knowledge they have, or do they have actual interaction? I would love to know. Meanwhile, got some more thoughts about the Donald Trump UFO questions. One of the commenters on the video that I made about that said that Donald Trump was having it both ways. And I thought that was very astute and a good comment. I wish I could remember who said that, but please claim credit for that in the comments below if that was you. Because he was having it both ways, which is really interesting. He was saying, on the one hand, that very credible people were reporting on UFOs, and he was respecting those people. But on the other hand, he was saying it's not his thing, and he doesn't really believe in it. So, he's having it both ways, right? He's appealing to, a broader audience that's not into UFOs, but at the same time, he's cluing people that are into UFOs that he respects those who are saying this and takes this seriously. Seems to be kind of what he's signaling here. At least that's my current take on it, inspired by that comment. I thought that was a great comment, and I think very, very accurate. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Meanwhile, there's this funny post about Donald Trump. Somebody said, why does Trump have a replica of the Ark of the Covenant at Mar-a-Lago? And then somebody says, who says it's a replica? Meanwhile, warning, what quantum physics does to a man. Max Planck in 1878 and Max Planck in 1901. Yeah, he's been through some stuff, man. He's been through some stuff. Love you, Max Planck. Actually, Max Planck is what really made me start thinking about other dimensional aspects of reality. Back when I was an atheist and a non-believer in UFOs, read Max Planck's thoughts that all of reality is vibration. And when you get right down to the atoms and what makes up the atoms and everything, it's all vibration. And it has to be a very specific vibration. Otherwise, nothing would exist, right? It's kind of like that download that I got, or that message I got. The universe is a frequency. It must vibrate to exist. Well, that seemed to be in a different context, but bang on to what Max Planck was saying back in the day. And, talking, basically that he seemed to believe in a creator being because, to get all these little particles and, whatever to formulate this material universe has to be such a specific frequency or such a specific resonance. It seemed to indicate to him that there was a higher power. I thought that was really interesting. So yeah, he went through some stuff, man. He experienced some mental stuff, if nothing else. Now, I want to go on an ayahuasca trip with Max Planck. Yeah, he'd be down for it. I mean, look at that guy. Meanwhile, a Nazca mummy update, presence of tendons in the Earl specimen in both hands and feet. Not even the best surgeons on the planet can recreate this. Indeed, you might be able to cobble together some bones, but you are not going to be able to get all that muscles and ligaments and stuff like that. There's just no way this stuff can be faked. The Nazca mummies are real, guys. We have already had UFO disclosure south of the border. Meanwhile, ever wonder how a bird builds its nest? Well, apparently it just finds a sleeping fox and starts picking at it. Don't try this at home, guys, but yeah, maybe in an emergency, if you do need to build a nest, just go out there and find a sleeping fox. Let me know what you think about this bird's technique and everything else covered today in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. I sure appreciate it. Smash the like button, the subscribe button, and all that kind of good stuff. There's plenty of other good videos on the channel, and I will see you guys next time. Have a great Sunday. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.